Se unen todas las banderas para celebrar la vida de la mano del 10, de la mano del 10. Se paralizó el planeta, grita América Latina, de la mano del 10, de la mano del 10.
La cosa linda, está como en la discoteca la van a empezar a...
I think they're gonna start dancing this at discos.
Pasión más grande que un mundial. De la mano del 10, de la mano del 10, de la mano del 10, de la mano. Venimos del sur, norte, oriente, occidente. Vamos pa' Rusia, que allá está mi gente. No importa tu raza, tu credo, tu bandera. Existen bicolores y una sola tierra. Desde Asia hasta Oceanía, todos viven en alegría. Europeos, africanos y latinoamericanos. No importa dónde vengan, porque todos somos hermanos. De la mano del 10, de la mano del 10.
Amigos de telesur en todo el mundo,
Throughout
bienvenidos
the world,
a nuestro
welcome
programa de la
to
mano
our
del 10.
TV show De la Mano del
Hoy sin
Diez.
Diego, pero con
Today
Diego,
Diego's
como
not here,
siempre.
but he will
Así
be
que algunas de
here
las
in
cosas
spirit.
más
And one of
interesantes
the
las
most
podemos
important
abordar
things that we're going to talk
cuando
about
tomamos esos
when
materiales
we
que van
talk about those
quedando de
materials,
distintos programas, de
that we have
charlas,
certain
de ensayos
chats
que hacemos
during the
con Diego para
presentations that we
Telesur y
have
que
for
luego se
telesur,
convierten en
and
lo
that
que hoy,
then they
por
become
ejemplo,
what
en un
we have
verdadero
today,
programa. Vamos a
a true
presentarles
program.
entonces un poco
So we're
de lo
going
que
to
es
show you a
la
little
vida
bit
del
about the
firmador,
life
la vida de
of Diego Armando
Maradona,
Maradona.
lápiz en mano.
Es la vida del firmador.
This is the life of who signs autographs.
My name is Igor. I come from Brazil, and I asked Maradona to sign my chest. He signed my chest, and from this, I was able to tattoo myself.
Thank you very much. You're a big star.
Es la vida del firmador.
This is the life of the one who signs autographs.
Es la vida del firmador.
This is the life of whoever signs autographs.
¿Cuántos autógrafos?
Look at the many autographs that you have signed. How many do you think you signed?
No tengo, la verdad, la menor idea.
I honestly have absolutely no idea.
El autógrafo es algo
But
que
an
a
autograph
mí primero me sorprendió,
is something that
porque
first of all
yo
surprised me
no firmaba, apenas firmaba la planilla cuando íbamos
because
por el
I
interior.
would only sign the team sheet whenever I was playing in the under 17, so I didn't have a clear signature and I didn't know it was coming so fast to me.
Y con mis hermanas
So
empezamos.
with my sisters,
No, pero vos tenés que
they were telling me, listen, Pelusa,
empezar a firmar autógrafos.
you need to start signing autographs.
¿Y quién me va a pedir
And I told them,
el autógrafo?
who is going to want an
Tu
autograph
hermana,
from
me
me?
dice.
And she said, well, me, myself, your sister, Lily.
Para la Lili.
So for
Y
Lily,
después decía,
and then I was wondering,
te amo,
I love you,
o te quiero,
or I care for you.
me dice, pero falta el autógrafo.
But she said, you're
Porque
missing
esto lo hacía
something.
en la
We're
escuela
missing
también.
your autograph.
Entonces agarré
So then I
y
decided,
miré cómo firmaba mi papá.
And I saw the signature that my dad used to use. And I saw his signature. He was signing something. And I looked what he was doing, right? So he was signing something, and then I decided to somehow sketch together with my sisters. My sisters, they're basically goddesses, both of them. Well, all 5 of them. They're hardworking women. They always have a very important will to live, and they help me. They helped me design my first autograph. So my first autograph was for my sister Lily, and after that, I became more and more bold with my autographs, but I wanted to sign them, so I was saying like this. And then there's a change, because now every day everyone uses this, but the first autograph that had a number, the shirt number, in parentheses, it was established by me. I started this.
Listen, do you sign with your right hand?
Yes. Yes, with my right hand. It is weird because when I speak with my sister and, well, Turco, he's right-footed and I'm left-footed, right? But Turco uses his left hand and his right foot will do the opposite. And I say, maybe are we like, I don't know, something's happening, something's wrong.
It's interesting. It doesn't mean that you were forced to be right-handed in school or something.
No, I've heard the stories from some children that it was mandatory for them to write with their left hand. However, when I was doing my homework or I was copying whatever was found on the blackboard, and she wouldn't see me if I was using the left or the right hand.
You know what I really like about autographs that I've seen you sign so many over my life is that you always put something different in each of them. You could put, for example, Maradona or Diego 10 and that's it, and it would be exactly the same. But you always add certain little small things. And I value that in you because that takes your time. When you have a line of 10 young lads that come and ask for an autograph, you give it and personalize your work into that. And I think that that's an exceptional act of love, of respect for them.
Listen, Victor Hugo, this is what I try to do. My old man used to tell me all the time, if you want to be respected, then you respect as well. And this is something that I take on from him. For instance, if someone takes a bus from Avellaneda to go to Tigre, where I was playing, right? So then, at the door where I used to live, it was raining, and she would just go there to ask me to sign a shirt. How can I do this? With only my name? Those who made me what I am today are the people. The people are the ones who made me this. Listen, I never gave tickets to the people. I didn't know how tickets work. However, I love signing autographs. So then, I published my book, and I called myself the Diego of the people, because previously it was only El Diego. So we were together with Arcucci and with Chergivian. It was the first book. But something was missing. I needed to give people something else. They need to know me on the inside and to know everything wrong that I've done for them to avoid doing them, but also the good things that I've done. The good things I've done. And that's the reason why I call the book El Diego de la Gente, Diego of the people, of all the people, those people who every time they see me on the street, they say hello to me, they say, hey Diego, how are you? If they're Italians, they speak about this. If they remember the goal against England, they speak about the handball. So there's something about memory. And this is something that I like. And I would often say hi to my dad. And he was someone who would love to say hi to people. And they would often ask Diego to walk slowly. And he would say, come on, Diego, you're walking too fast. And I would say, come on, Dad. But then I had to greet everyone, the butcher here. It will take you 2 minutes. And then he would tell me to get off the car, to go and speak to him for a couple of minutes. And the butcher would tell me, Dieguito, how are you? What's up? And I was always watching something. And my father was just looking at the ceiling while crying. And this was something that really, really got into my emotions.
México, Puerto Rico, República Dominicana.
We love China.
Brasil, Mosca, Egypt, uno, Siria.
Россия! Россия! Россия!
Hola, mi gente, soy
Hello, my people. I am the giraffe of Selección Colombia. Colombia. Hey, 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 hey. I have to remember to also ask Diego for an autograph, as we have seen during our first block of our show, with reference to a World Cup that is coming to a close. The flags seem to be saying goodbye to all of us, and it becomes part of the melancholy that it is part of the many weeks that we spend here with the colleagues of teleSUR and with Diego, living a notable experience with regards to journalism. When we think about World Cups, we always say, where does this come from exactly? The incredible technology that now surrounds a World Cup. The huge amounts of television cameras, presidents of journalists, and all of the paraphernalia that is present there. And it comes from times where things were completely different. It was an era where architecture, for example, the urbanization of towns, has increased incredibly. And Montevideo is where the World Cup started. France and Mexico played the first match, and it's a casualty because France is going to play this, and Mexico, who had a fantastic World Cup. But that field, that pitch, is no longer there. Progress took everything in front of it in its path. There's buildings now, houses, a street, but an architect called Enrique Benich wanted to investigate, and he did so in order to try to see the exact focal point of the pitch and where the goal, where the first World Cup goal was scored, stood at that point in time. And this is what we're going to share with you right now.
With the honor of organizing the first World Cup of the world, in 1929 they decided to build the Centenario Stadium. They worked night and day, but the rains delayed the work, and it wasn't finished for July 13, where the World Cup was about to begin. They needed to use the field of Peñarol and Nacional.
This is the neighborhood in the city of Montevideo, and the idea was for the first match of Uruguay to happen in the Centenario Stadium, and it had to happen on the 18th of July, which was the day which we celebrated the 100 years of our Constitution. But they had to play the matches before, and they had to do so 5 days before.
So in the background we have what was the field of Pocitos of Peñarol, where one of the first games of the World Cup of 1930 was played. This is where the first goal was scored. In the field de Pocitos that came from Peñarol, Mexico, and France started with a World Cup history. At 15, the Uruguayan referee Lombardi started the game. At the 19th minute, Lucien Laurent received a crossball from Armando and with a volley, put it past Oscar Monfilio.
So after an investigation, Enrique Bennett, with regards to the location of the pitch and where the goal was located and where the middle of the pitch was, they had a contest which I won. And I projected the place of the center of the field and the location of the goal. And I took as a reference point for all of the cultures the poster of that World Cup, the 1930 World Cup. Precisely because of the difference between the lines of the pitch and the urbanization of the city, many of the elements of the pitch are now located in private housing, which does not allow us to go and do a tracking of the field like we would like.
So they transformed an open space into a city. It was basically the sprawl of a city.
Evidently, it is very transcendent, particularly that goal, because it was the quickest. It has already been gone past. It could have been the best one, but it's subjective. But the first one will never be beaten by any other goal. Everything seems to be like a fairy tale, something wonderful that happened throughout 88 years that happens today. And that's why we were celebrating this in this manner. Who would have thought that back then the goals of Diego would happen? The Englishmen surely did not think so. And it's part of those stories that keep on happening, and they are remembered through photographs, through videos, and through names, and we have to treasure them somehow. And this happens in the Museum of FIFA. The museum is in Zurich, and it is the magnificent museum because you have the kits, the boots, and anything that players used during the big finals, during the magnificent episodes, the remembered episodes in the history of the World Cup. Here in Moscow, we have had some type of a pop-up museum. It gives a small taste of what the big museum looks like. And the cameras from teleSUR and from our television show, the Mano Del Diez, went and took a peek in there in order to show and share them with you.
When we started to plan this exhibition, our collections manager thought, what objects can we bring from the collection in Zurich to the World Cup? The main part of the exhibition is the corridor on the first floor, where we have one dedicated showcase about each of the World Cup tournaments with objects. The rainbow with all the 32 shirts is of course a great object, a great showcase. And then we have a growing showcase with the kick-off balls from each of the 64 matches. Our collections manager is here during this World Cup, and he is in touch with our colleagues from FIFA who are in the stadium at each match to ask kindly for new objects from the players after the matches. We invite every football fan, and of course also the football fans from Central America, from South America, to come here to visit this exhibition in Moscow and also to visit the exhibition in Zurich, And of course, we are always happy and we welcome every football legend from the past, from football history. Pelé, Maradona, Zinedine Zidane, everyone to come and enjoy football history.
After those 88 years that we are celebrating today, from the beginning of the first World Cup and World Cup history, we have the luck to be the television show in teleSUR, and I am able to participate in this with the biggest of the players of every World Cup. I have the privilege that thousands of people have been able to see, and that has a transcendental name. And he is called Diego Armando Maradona. And for us here, we have been accompanying the development of this World Cup in De La Mano Del Diez. And with him, De La Mano Del Diez is a metaphor, but it is also a reality, because with Maradona's hand, we have been able to go through many of memories, plenty of facts, plenty of comments, and plenty of analysis, so that you can have in teleSUR daily occurrences of the World Cup, apart from anything that you receive from channels that are the ones that get all of the images. With us, through Diego's hand in De La Mano Del Diez, we have had the opportunity to show you the World Cup from a different perspective, from a perspective of sensibility, of nostalgia, of memories, of history, which is incredible of that man, who never received a Ballon d'Or. And you can think, how can he never receive a Ballon d'Or? It was the case, because back then, when the Ballon d'Or was given, was only for European players. It could have been a player that nationalized, like Di Stefano, but Diego never became Italian, so he was never taken into account in order to compete for the Ballon d'Or. We started talking about this with Diego, and I want you to share the experience that I had the opportunity to share of talking with Diego about the Ballon d'Or, and also a very interesting story that is coming from this, which is absolutely unbelievable, and you have to see by your own eyes. You know what, Diego? The Ballon d'Or is not very lucky for players when they win it.
I've heard that, yes. Rumor has it, according to the lads of the production of this show, that whoever wins the Ballon d'Or doesn't do good. When I was playing in Italy, they would never have given me the Ballon d'Or because I was a foreigner. Then I was given it, but like as a sort of merit for my career as a footballer. So with my two daughters, I had the chance to be given this Ballon. And it took 7 years in order to be at Mom's house, because it was the place it went straight away to. But still, this is what it is. You cannot win everything. We all have the same illusion of winning, what is right in front of us.
Let's take a look to a sequence of things which has happened to the winners of the Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
Thinking for Europeans when Di Stefano and Sivaric won it is because they were Spanish and Italian, and the prize was thought to be given to Europeans. If not, I thought you would have won it in multiple occasions.
Maybe one or two.
Let's check out the images.
Maybe one or two. The pride of getting the Ballon d'Or was never completed the next season by winning the World Cup. I don't know if this is statistics or a curse. Let's take a look at the winners. Di Stefano, Spain, did not qualify for the World Cup. Sivori, the Azzurra, was out in the first round. Eusebio, debut Portugal, third place. Gianni Rivera, La Nazionale, lost against Brazil in the final. Johan Cruyff, the Clockwork Orange, played their best football, however lost the final. Alan Simonsen, his team wasn't able to qualify to the World Cup. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, second after losing the final against Spain. Michel Platini, France, reached the semi-finals and earned the third place. Van Basten, the Netherlands, lost in the round of 16 without winning a single game. Roberto Baggio, they lost the final on penalties. He missed the penalty that allowed Brazil to win. Ronaldo, Brazil lost 3-0 against the host France. Michael Owen, Brazil stopped England in the quarterfinals. Ronaldinho, he only got into quarterfinals when they lost against the exceptional France. Lionel Messi, Germany, and in South Africa they weren't able to beat Germany. Cristiano Ronaldo had great expectations but didn't make it through the group stage. Once again, Cristiano Ronaldo, same thing. This time the curse once again unstoppable, and it's more unstoppable than ever.
The following time when they give them the Ballon d'Or, the players say, no thank you, please don't give me that.
Hold it until the end of the World Cup.
Yes, until the end of the World Cup.
And it's beautiful to speak about this, Victor Hugo, because it's another challenge. It's getting yourself prepared mentally, because if you win the Ballon d'Or, then you logically, well, I would play even though the prize would have been a plastic ball. I don't care about the material. You were not playing for the golden ball. You were playing for your own club, for your team. And whatever you were able to do for your national team or your club team, then you fill a form. I filled the form. And I really couldn't choose Messi. I was his manager, but I couldn't choose him. I had to choose another one. I think I chose Forlan. But still, what can you do about it? I wasn't lucky enough, as some others are, who are top goal scorers, or who are basically the bosses of a team as I was in Napoli, but I didn't get a Ballon d'Or. It's not something that I'm claiming for today, because I was very happy with my career. If they want to give me a present, give me a small cup this size for being the first one in Italy of taking the flag of the North and switching it for the flag of the South. This is enough for me.
On the other hand, talking about Napoli, can you give us a mention about Ancelotti's arrival?
I don't think that Ancelotti is as eager as he should be for Napoli. Well, I think that we need to look at the past with Ancelotti. And I was speaking about this with Tano. What players in Bayern Munich used to say when Ancelotti was the manager and he was kicked out of Bayern Munich. So we need to go deep into details, because Napoli has the team strong enough to win the Scudetto. However, if the manager isn't good enough, they will not win it. So I don't think that he was the right choice. However, if San Gennaro wants to, it could happen this year still. But as Müller stated, my son trained more than me at Bayern.
Of course, Balón de Oro is constructed with our own imagination. It's a pure gold ball, and we are giving it with all of our heart to Diego Armando Maradona. And De La Mano Del Diez wants to greet channels throughout the world, but we always want to give specific greetings. Today, Ricarda TV and Colsecort in the Argentine Republic. More than 100 communities are following our show. We also want to greet CGT and Sport in China. Do you think they understand what I'm saying? I cannot say this in Chinese, so hopefully they don't understand. And in Venezuela, Vive TV. Vive. Our show will come back in an encounter with Diego, because we are going to see what he is going to think about the grand final between Croatia and France. We'll wait for you tomorrow with the biggest pleasure here in La Mano del Diez in TeleSUR. Good evening, friends.
Queremos verdad, reparación integral, pero sobre todo justicia,